guess this is like a little intro to restorative exercise. We'll just do some moves on the mat and with the mat. So roll it, actually. We're gonna roll it up into a little, kind of like how you would store a yoga mat. And we're gonna use this as your half dome. So you can place it on the floor and kind of squish it so it doesn't go rolling. And then you're gonna take your right ball of the foot and place it on top, and then your heel is gonna be on the floor. And I'm gonna say scoot yourself off to the left edge. So keep on, yeah, okay. So it's kind of like one foot's going uphill, yeah? And then yeah, you'll bring that left leg and line up your big toes with one another. And just stand for a second. So you're getting a pretty decent calf stretch running up the back of that right calf. You're gonna back your hips up a little bit. Good. And just, and hold and breathe for a moment. Pretty intense, yeah. And then you're gonna do a little knee bend for a little soleus stretch, and just watching that you track your knees straight forward over the center of the foot, and then gently extend. And that's it, a little knee bend. Good, try it again, a little knee bend. Teeny tiny, I know, and then a little extend. And one more time, a little knee bend. And then a little extend, yeah. Okay, then you're gonna take that left foot and take a small walking step forward, if possible. You're gonna back your weight up a little bit, exactly. I know, it's like a balance challenge. And you're just gonna get a pretty decent extra stretch running through that right calf. And you just relax and settle the upper body. So then step on back, we're gonna slide this guy over, or you could just walk to the other side. But same thing now, it's the left ball of the foot that's on top and your heel is on the floor. Yep, okay. And then yeah, eventually you're gonna line up your big toes with one another and just balance and stay. You're gonna back your weight up a little bit because you are gonna wanna drift your body forward. Yeah, it's a balance challenge. But yeah, it's like one foot's going uphill and one is going flat level. And then if you can, do a little baby knee bend, a little micro bend of your knees so they track in the center of your feet. And then gently back off. Good. And then same thing. Again, exactly, a little knee bend. Exactly. And then gently back off. And then again, one more time. A little knee bend. And a little back. It looks like you've got more range with that left foot. So go figure. So then with the legs straight, take a small walking step forward on the right. Same thing, keep backing your weight up over your back heel a little bit. I know, isn't that amazing? When I first started doing calf stretching, to me, it was all a balance challenge. Yeah. It had almost nothing to do with the stretch, which just gives you some information that if you were to walk uphill, how it throws your body off a little bit is really telling. Are you ready? Yeah. Humbling. Very humbling. I would have to hold on to something just to do this. So I was like, whoa. So it's interesting to see other people experience the same thing. Okay, so then step on off, shake that out. You can just kind of walk a little bit and see how your feet, calves feel, hopefully really good. And then we're gonna do a really simple calf elevator, which is just, good old-fashioned calf raises. So one thing we're gonna talk about is your standing stance and this jackhammer. I apologize, yeah. So your hip bones, you can touch your ASIS, your hip bones, and if you were to drop a straight line down from your actual bones that protrude forward, the line would drop straight through the center of the ankle complex. So you've got like that little dimple that sits in the front of your ankle. That line should line up with the very center of that portion. And then your legs are about hip bone distance apart. And that's a good width. I wouldn't go any narrower or much wider than that. But yeah, the pinkies point straight ahead and the weights are back on the weight is back on your heels. So from here, you're gonna push down through the balls of your feet and slowly rise up on your toes. So calf raise. Same idea, it's a balance challenge, and then slowly lowering to come back down. Good. Same thing again, push down through the balls of the feet. You think of the heels going straight up like an elevator. The hard part is they always want to roll, right? And so you're gonna have to keep them tracking straight up 2 channels. Lowering back down. Good. Good. Same thing again. Press through the balls of the feet. Now, Now, when you're up at the top, if you're able to balance, are you grabbing the floor with your toes, or are your toes not quite liftable, but not grabbing? So you would want them to not grab. And then slowly lowering back down, which is a very different experience because a lot of people toe grab, right? And so we want to be able to balance the weight across the balls of the feet and not necessarily incorporate the toes excessively. Yeah, and it's different, right? You may not be able to go quite so high. Yeah, and then one more time. And you may have one foot that grabs the floor more than the other. Pressing down, lift up. And then same thing, control the descent back down. Good, okay. So then you're gonna take your guide. It's helpful to use the mirror for this one, but you're gonna line it up on your back so that the bottom of it touches your tail and the top of it touches between your shoulder blades. So you're gonna go about that same hip distance apart that you just had a moment ago. Keep your bra line and your tailbone touching your mat, and you're gonna go into a forward hinge, where you're just gonna lean forward with as flat of a back as you can create until your pelvis stops moving, and you're gonna, again, work to keep your bra line touching the mat, and then slowly standing your way back up. And I do wanna see straight knees, so no buckling of the knees. Yeah, exactly. And if that's difficult in your shoulder, you can switch which hand's on top, but same thing. Moving at the pelvis, pivoting on the pelvis to lean the torso forward like a bow. But again, you stop moving when your pelvis stops moving. Again, bra line stays pressed up against the mat, and then press down through your heels to stand. Back up, and you'll notice that that left knee of yours wants to bend a little bit each time. So I would decrease your range of motion. Yeah. And then same thing, hinging forward. It's really not about how far you can go, but you definitely lean your weight back. So from a side vantage point, my bottom is quite a bit behind my heels on purpose. Yep. And then same thing, that'll actually help with the knees wanting to bend. Good. One more time, hinging forward. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Good. And slowly stand that back up. Okay, so you're gonna remove the mat and set it out in front of you. So you're already like a little bit pitched forward. You're gonna walk your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Okay, so walk the mat closer towards you so that you really do feel like what your end range of your hip hinges, and then you can move it a little bit away if you feel like you can come down a little bit lower. But something like that's pretty good. Okay, so you're gonna look down at your legs. You're gonna back your hips up so your bottom is slightly behind your heels on purpose, and then your knees are fully straight. So when you're leaning forward like this, you're gonna watch your own kneecaps, and you're gonna squeeze your knees and thighs like you're making fists with your knees. Now, keeping the legs straight, relax the kneecaps and thighs. And then try that again. Squeeze the kneecaps and thighs, and then gently release. Exactly, it's hard not to want to bend the knees. And then same thing, squeeze and pull up, and then release. And you're definitely gonna have one side that's gonna want to release more easily than the other. And then same thing, pulling up, and then gently release. Tricky? Okay. So from here, keep your chest pretty much square between your two arms, but lean your hips over to the right. And because you're offloading your left leg, you should maybe be able to bob that left kneecap a little bit, maybe not. And then swipe your hips over to the left, getting a hip stretch. And then from there, that right leg is unloaded, so see if you can bob that right knee up and down a little bit. Maybe not. And then same thing, swipe over to the right, getting a little hip inner thigh stretch, and then just check your kneecaps. The loading leg is gonna be harder. And then again, swiping over to the left. And one more time, swiping over to the right. Good, and then swiping over. Yeah. And exactly. And then come back through center, and then coming all the way back to standing. You can walk your feet near. You can set your mat off to the side, and then take another little walk around and just kind of see how your legs and hips feel. And hopefully pretty swingy already. Okay. So you're going to unroll your mat about halfway. And then you're going to lie down so that your bottom is on top of the roll edge. So you may want to flip it around, it's up to you. So I can see. Yeah. So your bottom is just ever so slightly elevated on purpose, which causes the ribs to drop down a little bit more easily, which in my opinion sets the rib cage up a little bit better for success. Now you're in neutral. Okay, so from here you can flex your right foot and you're just going to simply slide the leg out along the carpet, getting a little hip extension as if you're trying to press your hamstring to the floor, but try really hard to keep your pelvis neutral, and then sliding the foot back in. And then same thing on the left. Flex, slide it on out. Feel a little bit of that abdominal residual work, especially as the leg gets really straight. And then bending to slide it back in. And then same thing on the right. Right, flex and slide. Good. And then sliding it back in. And again on the left, exhale, slide. And then good. So on the next one, you're going to slide that right leg out and stay. You're going to mildly turn the leg out to a baby turned out foot, but the turnout's really happening from the hip, not from the foot. And then from there, take a deep exhale, and you're going to levitate the right leg a few inches off the ground. Good, and then lower it back down. Meanwhile, again, both sides of the pelvis are really level. Same thing again, use your exhale, connect your abdominals, and then levitate the foot up, and then controlling it back down. And then pause, check in with your left foot, make sure that your left foot's really light on the floor. And again, use your exhale, levitate the right leg up. The pelvis can be really heavy, just not that left foot, and then lower back down. One more time, use your exhale, floating that right leg up. And then controlling it back down. Good, slide the right leg in, come to parallel, and then slide the left leg out, mildly turn it out. Okay, so again, keeping the pelvis pretty level, use your exhale to levitate that left leg off the floor a few inches, and then control it back down. Good. Yeah, definitely exhale, and then floating the leg up a few inches, and then controlling it back down. Meanwhile, again, check in with your right foot that it's pretty light on the ground. Pelvis is heavy. Use your exhale to float the left leg up, and then lowering it back down. Last two. Use your exhale. And lowering back down. And just notice the difference between the right and left sides. One more. Use your exhale. And then controlling it back down. Good. Slide that left leg in. And then open out to a baby butterfly. Just kind of let that stretch out for a moment. Kind of intense for what it is, right? Surprisingly. So then bringing the legs back to parallel, you're going to start your exhale and float the right leg up to a shelf. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bring the left leg up to match it. All right, so your bottom is again really sunken down into the rolled up part of your mat. You're going to open your legs apart like a bent leg straddle. And then use your exhale, feel the abdominals kind of wrapping shut before you close the knees. Good. And then same thing, again, pressing out wide. I like to inhale when I open, and then exhale to shut. And again, inhaling for 3. And exhale to close. Good, 2 more. Inhaling to open. And exhale to close. 1 more time. Inhale to open. Good, and then exhale to close. Hopefully your hip flexors are okay. Open your arms into a little bit of a V. And we're going to sway the knees over to the right. Think of reaching out through that left knee, but you're going to work to keep your sternum really square in the center. And then use your exhale again. Feel that same wrapping sensation to pull the knees back to center. Good. And then same thing over to the left. Twisting across, reaching out through the right knee. Again, sternum stays square to the ceiling, chest stays square. And then use your exhale, feel the wrapping muscles drag your knees on the return. And again, twisting across to the right, chest stays square. And again, use your exhale, lighten the arms, strong in the waist. To return. And then same thing over on the left, twisting across. Arms are still relatively light. Use your exhale, wrap your waist to bring the legs on back. Good, one more on each side, twisting across. And again, use your exhale to return. And one more time, twisting across. And then exhaling to return. And then lowering one foot down at a time, because that needs to be pretty intense in the hip flexors. Unroll your mat. And then just slide your legs down straight. And just see, how that feels across the front of the pelvis. And you should feel like the backs of your legs are really heavy on the floor. So you're going to take your time and roll to one side. I generally will roll my mat up, but I'll do a flat flip for this next exercise, which is just a little bit of a lunge stretch. Let's do that. Usually the carpeting I'm okay with. So we're kneeling. Yeah, so if you need any more padding, I can always add more. I end up putting my toes on the mat, but you don't necessarily have to. But when you're upright kneeling, your knees are pretty much right under your hips, and you're going to nudge and walk your knees backward, but your toes flip so that you're trying to bend your toes and the tops of your foot to the max, tops of your feet. So you kind of walk, so that your feet are bent to the max, which is pretty intense just doing that. Yeah, okay. And then making sure that your heels are pointing straight up. So you're going to step your right foot forward. It's okay if your toes go off the edge a little bit. And you're going to walk it so that your foot is more forward than your knee. Yeah, exactly. So your hip bone and your pubic bone should both be vertical. So I like to back my hips up a little bit because that takes the pressure off. You're going to be ever so biased toward a tucked tail. And you're going to slowly suction cup that front heel back to press the whole pelvis forward. It's called a translation, like the whole thing moves as a unit to come forward so that your pubic bone and your hip bone both move at the same rate to come forward, and it's real small. And then gently back off. Yeah, it's pretty intense for what it is. But same thing again, suction cup the front heel back, feeling the pubic bone and the hip bone slide forward at the same rate. You're going to think of your back knee reaching down, but your head's reaching up tall to the sky. And then gently back off. Yeah, it is pretty intense, right? And again, suction cup the heel back, pulling the hip forward. So again, almost leave the pubic bone side of the pelvis a little bit more. And then gently back off. And one more time, suction cup the heel back. Think of almost leading from the pubic bone side. Laser pointer straight ahead. I know, another balance challenge. And then gently back off and then carefully alternate legs. So again, I usually start about here and then I'll adjust my feet again and then I'll bring the other foot forward. So same thing, left foot comes forward now. So it's okay if your toes are a little bit forward of the mat. You're a little bit more open than 90 degrees. And then I'm gonna back your hips up a little bit so that your back thigh starts vertical. Because that's going to be your easiest spot, believe it or not. So again, hip bone and pubic bone should both be pretty vertical right now. You're going to suction cup the heel back to bring the pelvis forward like a unit. Balance challenge again. And then gently back off. Yeah, so it's that same translation idea where the pubic bone and the hip bone move forward at the same rate. Exactly, it's really nice. And then gently back off. Same thing again, suction cup the heel, moving the pubic bone and the hip bone at the same rate. Think of your back knee reaching down, your head reaching really tall to the sky, so you feel a little unloaded out of your leg. And then back off and just see how that changes. Hip stuff, 2 more. Suction cup and pull. And then gently back off. Yeah, it's pretty intense for what it is. One more time. And again, suction. And pull, 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 pull. Woo. And then bring that left leg back and then just sit back in a child's pose or something comfortable to take some pressure and actually compress your hips a little. And breathe. Okay, so I'm going to unroll my mat completely, and let's go into a cat position. So you're going to be on your hands and your knees. So I'm going to end up doing the same foot flip as before. So my toes are tucked under, and I'm going to nudge my knees back. And then if you put your hands by your sides and flex your wrists and look down, that's about how wide you want your arms to be apart. You don't want them any narrower than that on the mat. So then you can come forward and place your hands on the mat. And they're going to feel a little wider than usual. But you're in a flat back so that your shoulders are directly over your wrists and your knees are directly under your hips. Yeah, okay, so we're going to start with just a simple hip glide. So you're in a flat back. You're going to stick your tush out a little bit. And you're going to slowly sit straight back to the wall behind you, like you're stamping your bottom on the windows behind you. It's a good image though. And then gently rocking forward. Good. Same thing again, kind of sitting straight back. Exactly. Kind of sticking your tush out as you go. Good crack in the knee. A lot of stretch in those feet and then gently rock forward. So you're going to shift your pelvis a hair to the right and you're going to sit diagonally back to the right heel. Just see what that feels like in the hip. And then rock back through center and pause. And then you're going to do the same thing on the left. Shift a little to the left and then sit back towards the left heel. It's pretty mild. You're not going, to your max shift and then rocking forward. So you still feel like you've got weight across the balls of your feet. And then same thing, a little shift right, sitting back. You're going to notice that the right thigh is slightly turned out and the left one is slightly turned in. And then rock that back through center. And then same thing on the left. When you sit back, the left thigh is slightly turned out and the right thigh is slightly turned in. Just because of your pelvic shift. So if one direction's tighter, those legs don't like to spin in that particular direction. Yeah? One more on each side. So one hip may feel a little stickier, to be expected. One foot might even feel tighter, and rock forward. And then same thing on the left. Yeah, I like hearing those cracks, as long as they don't hurt. And then rock through center. Okay, do one in center one more time just to feel what it feels like to be in center, and then hold and stay. All right, you're gonna look down your arms, you're gonna slide your shoulders down, you're gonna squeeze your elbows straight, you're gonna spiral your inner elbows up to the ceiling, you're gonna spread your hands out like big starfish hands, so those middle fingers point straight ahead and the thumbs are trying to reach into one another, and then you're gonna keep all of that alignment as you gently rock your weight onto your arms. Nice. And then sit back again. You're going to go shoulders down, elbows straight and spun, wide palms. Good. And then rock that forward. Nice. It's a lot of hand work. And again, rock it back. And again, shoulders down, elbows straight and spun, wide palms. And then rock the weight forward. Stay, relax your toes, drop your head, and we're going to go right to a shoulder blade push-up. We're going to push the floor away and spread your shoulder blades apart. And then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to sink your chest to the floor and draw the shoulder blades together, keeping those elbows really strong and straight, and let your head drop down completely. Shake it down. And again, push the floor away, spread the blades apart. Good. Try not to cat back your back extensively. Make it more about the shoulder blades. And then do the same thing again. Sink your chest to the floor, drawing the blades together, keeping those elbows really strong and straight. Totally drop your head. Yeah. Shake, shake, shake. And again, push the floor away, spread the blades apart. Good. And then sink, 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 sink. Keep those elbows strong. Shake your head no so you know it's loose and free. And one more time. Push the floor away, push the floor away, push the floor away. And then sink, 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 sink. Draw the blades together. Elbows are strong. It's lots of hand loading. And then just sit back in that child's pose again and shake all that out. It's a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. And then for a little hand reprieve, you can just sit any way you feel comfortable. I'll try to face you. You're going to take your hands and you're going to bring the backs of your hands together, and your fingers will probably interweave a little bit. You're trying to touch your thumbs together. Exactly. With relaxed shoulders, and then you're going to slowly drop your hands down toward your lap. Still keeping the thumbs touching one another, and stay. And the backs of the hands touching, for that matter. Yeah. Sounds like the opposite of what we just did. And then from here, what I like to do is slide my hands a little bit off to the right, and then slide my hands a little bit over to the left, and just see how that changes in your forearms.
I'm trying to keep it down straight.
Pretty neutral. It's more so that the shoulders don't round forward. It's okay if your upper back is not 100% upright. It's just breaking up all that wrist stuff. And then shake all that out. Okay, so we're going to come back into the cat position, but we're going to come onto your forearms for a little shoulder stretch. So you are on your hands and your knees. Basically, if you put your elbows right where your wrists were, now you'll have a vertical upper arm. That's kind of the key. So we have those nice, flat, wide starfish hands. Your arms are like two train tracks, so they're very parallel with one another. Yeah. The elbows like to live a little wider than the wrist, so you're going to try really hard to keep the elbows in line with the wrist. You're going to drop your head. It may or may not graze the floor. And you're going to do that shoulder blade push it again, where you push the floor away and spread your shoulder blades. Oh, bless you. And spread the shoulder blades apart. And you're going to hold that back position, but you're going to stick your tush out a little bit. And you're going to slowly sit back as far as you can, keeping the whole forearm and hand attached to the ground. Keeping the ribs a little bit gathered and your bottom sticking out. And then you're going to rock back forward. It's pretty easy, not too hard. A little nuancy, but yeah, you push down into your forearms, which lifts your chest. You stick your bottom out, and then you slowly sit back, but keep pressing your hands and wrists and forearms into the floor. Don't let them move. And then rock that back forward. Okay. So that's essentially what we're doing, but we're going to do it with your palms face up. So if you can get the backs of your hands to the floor, much like you got your palms to the floor, that would be ideal. You're going to do that shoulder blade push-up again, and you're going to slowly sit back, almost like a little mini child's pose, only as far as you can, keeping the whole back of the hand really anchored to the floor, shaking your head no so you know it's loose and free, and then gently rock that forward, and it should burn. And then same thing again, pushing the floor away, keep the backs of the hands pressed to the ground, and slowly sit on back. Hang out at the end range, shake your head so you know it's loose and free, check in with your ribs and tail, and then rock it forward. Exactly. One last one. Sit on back. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, and then rock it forward. Oh, and then sit back in that child's pose one more time. It's incredible, right? How tight those shoulders can feel. So, you're going to gently roll onto your side, or do a little sideline leg work. I also like to fold my mat up a little bit and make almost like a little pillow for my head. So, you're going to be lying on your side, your choice. This is a little bigger one. Your bottom knee, or bottom leg, I should say, is going to be straight, and your top knee is going to be bent and resting on the floor. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. I just have to need like that much higher, but it's okay. Something's better than nothing. Your hands are stacked out in front of you, just a little below shoulder height. All right, so from here, you're going to overreach your top arm beyond your bottom arm, and then you're going to take the arm up to the ceiling and stay. And you may be too close to the Cadillac for this one, because we're going to twist. I just want to make sure you get enough room behind you, so you might want to scooch forward. Yeah. There you go. Exactly. You want to have plenty of room behind you, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. So your hands are stacked. You're going to overreach your top arm beyond the bottom arm. You're going to take it up to the ceiling and stay. And you're basically locking your shoulder in position. And then from there, you're going to think of turning your ribs, turning your shoulders, turning your head, and that's what brings your arm behind you. You're thinking about the arm reaching really wide, not very low. Your front knee stays anchored to the floor, and then you're going to do a big exhale when you arrive. And then you're going to unwind the torso. That's what's going to bring your arm back up to the ceiling. And then gently stack your hands out in front of you. So it's a torso exercise, not really an arm exercise. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, so same thing. Overreach the top arm beyond the bottom arm. Take it up to the ceiling and stay. Kind of lock the shoulder in this specific position. Now, again, twist the ribs, twist the shoulders, twist your head, look back at your back fingertips. Again, you're thinking wide, not low. And again, a big exhale. Think of spreading your arms away from one another like a big wide T. And then unwind the torso to bring the arm back up. And then gently stack your hands. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to overreach your top arm beyond the bottom arm, and you're going to take your arm up to the ceiling and stay. Your bottom hand is going to wrap your ribs and kind of lock your torso in position. Yeah. Keep the overreach of your top arm, and then slowly lean just the arm behind you as wide as it can go, keeping your ribs really, really steady. Getting kind of like a little bicep pec stretch, maybe even nerve stretch all the way through your fingers. And then lift that back up to the ceiling and stay. When you get up to the ceiling, let the shoulder collapse down. And then again, overreach the arm up to the ceiling and hold, and then slowly lean the arm back. Feeling really broad and expansive through the shoulder. Open up the hand, make a big starfish hand. And then gently lifting the arm back up. And again, shoulder collapses down. Overreach the arm up. And then keep the overreach as you slowly lean the arm back. Good. And then gently lift the arm back up to the ceiling, unroll your bottom arm, and then just stack your hands again on the floor in front of you. And then you're going to do the twist one more time. So you're going to overreach your top arm beyond the bottom arm, take it up to the ceiling and stay. Now lock the shoulder again like the first two, and then slowly again turn your ribs, turn your shoulders, turn your gaze, and just see if you have any more rotation in your spine and torso. Hold and breathe. And then unwind the torso to bring the arm back up, and then gently stack your hands. More twisty?
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so then you can just log roll to the other side. I'm going to spin around so I can keep watching you. Okay. Same thing, other side. So, bottom leg is straight, top knee is bent, just in front of the hip, and then hands are stacked just a little below shoulder height. Okay. So your top arm overreaches beyond your bottom arm. You take it up to the ceiling and stay. Good. And then again, lock the shoulder and then think of turning your ribs, turning your shoulders, turning your gaze. That's what brings the arm behind you. So you're thinking wide versus low. Take a nice exhale when you arrive. And then unwind the torso. That's what brings the arm back up. And then gently stack the hands. Good. Same thing again, overreach, take the top arm beyond the bottom arm, reach it up to the ceiling and stay. And again, lock the shoulder, but again, twist the ribs, twist the shoulders, twist your gaze, watch your back fingertips. Breathe. And then again, think of spreading the arms out really wide with a big exhale. And then unwind the torso to bring the arm back up, and then gently stack your hands. Okay. So then we're going to do just the arms. So you overreach, take the arm up to the ceiling and stay. Take your bottom hand and wrap your ribs and lock them tight. Overreach your top arm and then slowly lean it behind you only as far as you can without moving your rib cage. Just feeling like an arm. It's a zombie arm because it's behind you. You can't see it. Like detaches from your body. And then gently lift the arm back up. Good. Let the shoulder collapse down. And again, overreach up to the ceiling and stay, and then slowly lean the arm back. Good. Good, and then lifting the arm back up. And again, shoulder collapses down. Good, overreach it up. And then keep the overreach as you slowly lean it back. Ooh, shoulder is tight for me today. And then gently bring the arm back up, unroll your bottom arm and stack your hands. And then one more with the twist to just overreach. Take the top arm up to the ceiling and stay. And then again, slowly turn your ribs, turn your shoulders, turn your gaze. See if you have any more rotation in the torso. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then unwind and bring the arm back up. And then gently stack your hands to rest. Pretty good? Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so you're gonna roll over so that you're gonna roll your mat up all the way again. This is a little funky, so you just do the best that you can, but you're gonna lie down so that the roller is, it's like around your bra line on the edge. And then your head and your shoulders are up it. So knees bent is a little easy. You're going to have your hands by your sides. You're going to turn your palms face up. It's like so loud outside. Okay, and then from here, you're going to keep turning your hands over so your thumbs pin the floor, and you're in maximum external rotation. So keep rotating the pinky side of the hand up to the ceiling, and your thumbs are going to stay on the floor. Okay, so keeping your lower rib cage kind of hanging to the floor, you're going to open your arms out to a really wide T with your thumbs tracing the ground. It's like a snow angel. You're going to keep those ribs really relaxed. When the arms get close to your ears, your ribs are either going to want to arch, your thumbs are going to want to come away from the floor, so you kind of meet in the middle. And then you slowly open back out to about a T. And then you repeat that again. You keep the rib cage dropped. You think of spiraling and spreading the arms out wide, drawing a little snow angel. When the arms come up again in line with your ears, keep relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the ribs, and then opening back out to a T. So this is taking like what we just got done doing, but doing both arms simultaneously. And again, reaching it overhead. And opening it back up. Very nervy, right? Yeah, lots of nerve stuff. One more time, exhale. You almost want to imprint the floating part of your back. And then open it back wide. Woo! And then just rest and settle. And I always want to straighten my legs. It's just so intense. Yeah? Okay, so carefully roll onto one side, and we're going to slowly make our way up to standing. Any way you can. But it's a lot of good shoulder stretching. I'm going to unroll my mat just to give me something to stand on. Woo. Actually, take a walk. That might feel kind of good too, just to kind of see what's going on with the upper. Yeah, you can feel really swinging through the arms. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to find that neutral stance again. We're going to do some pelvic lifting. So I'm glad that you're near something that you might need to grab onto. So again, to review, hip bones, you drop a line. You're in the center of your ankle. The weight's back on your heels. Your toes are light, and the pinky toes are pointing relatively straight ahead. Yeah, perfect. So you're going to just simply lean and shift your weight a little bit to the right, like the Tin Man, and then shift a little bit of weight over to the left. Pretty simple. And again, shift to the right. And then shift over to the left. And when I shift right, I have to give myself a moment to back my weight up on my heel, because I will slightly drift forward. And then shift left, and then same thing. Are you backed up on your heel? Good. Okay. So you're going to shift right again. And you're going to drive your right heel and hip down, 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 down so hard that you levitate your left foot off the floor with a straight knee. So my left hip is slightly higher than my right on purpose. It's because this hip contraction is slightly tilting my pelvis. But it's not a back experience per se. It's really kind of low in the pelvis, and my head is still kind of straight up to the ceiling. Yeah, it's balance challenge, and then leveling off both feet. Same thing on the other side. So a little weight transfer. Make sure the weight's back on your heel versus your toes. And then drive that left heel and hip down, 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 down to float the right foot off the floor. Yeah, a little easier. Same thing, you should feel it in your left outer cheek. And again, my right hip is slightly higher than my left. Base knee is straight. Watch so you don't slightly buckle it to balance you. Good. And then level off the feet. Very good. Interesting how that's the more challenging side, but that's actually got, it's better balance. And again, shift right, who knows, right? And then driving the right heel and hip down, 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 down to float the left foot off. Exactly, and just sort of balance and stay. I can usually sort of relax this left dangly leg on purpose. I'm not doing a lot with it, it's just sort of hanging. Yeah, and then level off your feet. One more to the other side, a little weight transfer. And then drive that left heel down, 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 down to float the right foot on off. And then same thing, you kind of just wiggle it around. Nice. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, getting better with balance. So of course we have to add on. So a little weight transfer. You're gonna drive that right heel down, 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 and float the left foot off the floor and stay. Okay, so if your hip bones were like headlights, you're gonna slowly twist your pelvis to the right, keeping that left foot clearing the floor. That's the hard part. And then you're gonna rotate your headlights to point back forward. And then stay and repeat it again. Twist to the right, so you're pivoting on that base leg, which is really rough. And then unwinding back to square. Yeah, one more time. Rotating across. Pretty intense. And then unwinding back. Good. And then level off the feet, and then I kind of have to do a little hip. Yeah, kind of interesting? Yeah. Same thing on the other side, I know. So the weight's backed up on the heels, the toes are light and liftable. You're gonna shift a little to the left, drive that left heel and hip down, 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 down to float again the right leg, so it's pretty loose and free. So here are your headlights again. You're gonna turn your headlights to the left, keeping that right foot clearing the floor, and then rotating back to square. Significantly easier, and again, base leg stays straight. Again, the weight's on the heels, the toes are light and liftable. That'll make it a little harder. And then rotating back. Yeah, good. One more time. Rotating across. I know. I spoke too soon. And then slowly rotating back. Good, yeah. And then balance out the feet and then kind of do a little hip tap again. Yeah, okay. So then we're gonna do your double calf stretch again, but without the use of the mat. So go feet about the width of the mat, pinky toes point straight ahead. Again, you're hinging forward to the max. Feeling, again, like that mat is on your bra line and your tailbone, and you stop moving your torso when either the pelvis stops moving or the knees want to bend. And then from there, you're gonna lean your hips over to the right. Kind of stretching out what we just turned on. And then leaning the hips over to the left. And I'm gonna add a little twist, kind of a yogi twist. So this time when you shift to the right, take your left hand and put it on your thigh, and then just turn. Put the other hand on your hip and just simply think of reaching your elbow to the ceiling. And just do a little baby twist, hold and breathe. And then come through center, and then you have to swap out your hands. You're gonna shift to the left leg and then do a baby twist. Kind of stick your chest out, grow your spine long, so you're in a long pivot point. So your head is lower than your pelvis, so bring your whole upper body up, not down. Up, 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 so stick your chest out. Yeah, now twist it. Oh, there we go. That's a flat back hinge, exactly. And then come back through center, switch your grip. So think long, flat back. I even kind of push against my thigh to grow my spine longer, and then I rotate and pivot like a, it's like a screw in a socket. It's a really tight turn. And then rotate it back, and then same thing on the other side. Nice flat back, stick your chest out a little bit, and then spiral more. Oh, it's just tight, right? Yeah, and you can feel how it runs all the way through the leg, all the way through your head. And then just gently come back through center. You can come all the way up to standing, exactly, and then just take another little walk. Woo! And just see what that feels like. It's intense for what it is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so let's do, which order do I want to do this in? Let's roll up our mat. We're going to use it as a prop again. Part of rolling up your mat is part of the workout because you have to squat. Okay. All right, so taking kind of what we just did a second ago and adding on to that. So the hip listing, that we just did, we're going to do it in a forward hinge. So feet are narrow again. It's that normal stance. You're going to do your flat back hinge, but I'm going to say make it smaller than you normally do, and then rest the mat out for something to hold on to. Okay. So again, you're going to shift the weight to the right. You're going to drive that right heel and hip down, 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 down to float your left foot off the floor and hold and stay. So yeah, so your left cheek is higher to the ceiling compared to the right on purpose. The left leg is just kind of dangling below the hip, and that right leg is working really hard to hold you here. And you're going to keep backing your weight up so your bottom is behind your heel. And you're really sticking your tush out. And then bring that floating leg back down. Reorganize your stance for a moment. And then try it to the left, a little weight transfer. Drive that left heel and hip down, 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 down to float the right foot off. Balance and stay. You're kind of sticking your tush out again. Dangling that right leg. Really loading that left. Toes are light, leg is strong. And then placing the floating leg back down. It's kind of intense, right? Same thing down, a little shift to the right. Drive the right heel down, 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 down to float the left foot off. Balance and stay. And then bring that base foot on down, or the floating leg down. One more time, a little weight transfer. Drive that left heel down, 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 floating the right foot off. Balance and stay. Check the pelvis, because really the pelvis is going to want to tuck under. That's the hardest part. And then level off the feet. Okay, so adding a little arabesque. So you're going to shift to the right. You're going to drive that right heel down, float the left foot off, balance and stay, and then sweep the left leg up behind you like you're trying to push your heel to the wall behind you, and hold and breathe, and hold and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep the leg down. Good. Reorganize your stance. Shift a little to the left. Drive that left heel down, 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 down to float the right foot off. Balance and stay. Sweep that leg up into the air behind you. Push the heel to the wall behind you. Hold and stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg on down. Try one more on each side. Check your pelvis. Reorganize your stance. Shift a little to the right. Drive the right heel down. Float the left foot off. Balance and stay. Sweep the leg behind you. Hold and breathe. Push the heel to the wall for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg on down. Try the other side. Shift. Drive the heel down, 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 down. Float the right foot off. Check your pelvis. Sweep the leg into the air. Push it to the windows and just hold and stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg on down. And I like to roll my spine all the way on up. You can place your mat down. Woo! And take a walk. And feel what posterior push-off really feels like. Like what's pushing and driving you forward? The back chain of the legs. Yeah, pretty intense. I know. Yeah. It's a lot, right? It's a lot in the backs of the legs and the calves. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a little shoulder stretch. So I'm gonna put my back to you. You're gonna take your right hand and you're gonna thread it behind your back so your elbow is as close to your back and your ribs as you can get it. Now, if this is okay, you're gonna slowly work to bring your hands between your shoulder blades, but it doesn't have to get there if it's too much. You can't use your other hand. So you have to just be able to, even if it's here, that's all. That's fine. You'll notice that your shoulder blade wants to wing out to make this position from behind. So we're going to bend and round your chest forward until that shoulder blade is flush on your back from behind. Yeah. So you have to deliberately let the head of the shoulder round forward. Everything we tell you not to do, and let the elbow press forward. Yeah. And then hold and stay and breathe. And then if this is relatively okay, see if you can turn your palm over. I know, and now it's like a whole new beast. Good, and if that's too much, just go back to the back of the hand, don't worry about it. But you do want your elbow to be really tucked into your side, and it's like you're pretty slouched. So you don't need to lean forward, think of slouching forward, like really rounding your chest and ribs. Yeah. Good. And then just gently unwind the arm, kind of stir the shoulder. Woo, and just see what that feels like in the head of it. I know it's a very different thing to be stretching the front of the shoulder versus the back, right? Okay, so you can turn to face forward. I'm gonna turn my back to you. Left hand's behind your back. Again, getting the elbows close to your ribs as humanly possible. And then again, without the use of this hand, if you can bring that hand up between your shoulder blades, that would be great. But you don't have to. Yeah, if it's icky, don't do it. Stop at the point before icky. And breathe, because again, you want that elbow to be really tight against your side. Okay, so again, your shoulder blade is most likely winging out, so you're gonna round and slouch your way forward, bringing the head of the shoulder forward, letting the elbow hang forward, until you can get that shoulder blade to feel pretty flush across your ribs. Yeah, this side seems easier, right?
No, it doesn't feel as high though.
Yeah. And then you hold and breathe, hold and breathe, hold and breathe. And then again, if this is relatively okay, you can turn your palm over. And if that's too much, then you just keep the back of the hand where it was. So it's like chicken or the egg. Is it the hand-forearm tightness that bothers the shoulder, or is it really coming from the shoulder? Who knows? And then again, gently unwind the arm and just gently stir. Ooh. Good. Okay, so I'm glad that your mat is still rolled up. You're gonna grab it. You're gonna slip your fingers into the holes and place it behind you. We're gonna do chest expansion, but we're gonna do chest expansion with wide scapula. So you're gonna find that nice stance that you had earlier. You're gonna let your sternum soften a little bit to allow the shoulder blades to spread out versus standing in attention. So now my ribs and my hip bones are a little bit more in line. And then from there, you're gonna slowly press the mat behind you, only as far as you can without your ribs or your shoulders changing position. And then relax. And then same thing again. Press, 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 press. When you push it behind you, you can feel how the stomach kicks on almost naturally. And then release. And then same thing again. Press, 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 press. Keep those scapula broad. Chest is at ease. And then release. Okay, so then just simply slip your fingers out like you're squeezing it together, like palms facing into one another. Okay, so now you keep squeezing as if you're squeezing the mat together as you bring the arms behind you. It's a pretty different sensation because now it's a little bit more tricep oriented. And then release. And then same thing, almost like a flat palm. Press your palms toward one another. Try not to grab with your thumbs if you don't have to. And then gently release. Good. And again, press, keep the scapula wide. You're almost reaching the mat down and low. And release. And definitely feel the stomach and the legs. And then again, press. There we go. That's nice. And release. Good. And then place the mat down. Woo! And take another walk. And just see what that feels like. And your arms should feel very swingy. Your legs should feel very swingy. Yeah, so that's intro to restorative exercise.